All right, what is up, guys? I'm here with one of my favorite people. I'm here with Jeremy Degg, and man, dude, just like I've known you for what, like 2 or 3 years, I think, and
Yeah.
just to see the growth, not just like business-wise, but personal development, your walk with the Lord, all that. I think this is going to be just super helpful and encourage a lot of people who are in the place maybe you were at a few years ago. So. Dude, welcome on.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, it's been like 3 years since I've known you so far, and for the both of us, I feel like it's been a very long journey and a very like crazy journey for sure.
Dude, without a doubt. It's been crazy, bro. So let's dive into that. Dude, kind of tell people um, where you were. Let's start with like where you were when we met and how you got into business. Because, dude, I know, weren't you going to go to college or something? And you like dropped out because you started an agency. I would love to hear that story.
Yeah, it's a funny story because like I was enrolled in college, but I didn't really go. So I had a deal with my mom. She said she gave me like a semester off to fully pursue this business, and I was like almost like begging her, like, "Hey, mom, like I really don't want to go to college. I want to pursue running an agency and stuff like that." And she finally like let me do it. She's like, "Okay, fine. Like as long as you do this semester to or like use this time to actually like pursue the business, then that's totally fine. But if nothing happens, you have to go and see college." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." Fast forward during that like 2 to 3 month time frame, I didn't do any action. Like I didn't take any action whatsoever. I pretty much just knew my niche and like booked maybe one call, and I no-showed that call because I was terrified. Like I didn't even like have a sales script at all. So yeah, she gave me like a semester, and then she's like, "Okay, you have to go to college now. Like this is, you're not like taking action, stuff like that." So I was like, okay, that's a fair thing to say. But I had the agency in my mind for like the longest time. I was like, I can't give up on this. Like I didn't even try. Like I just can't give up on this because I was thinking of running an agency since I was like in seventh grade, and at that point I'm like 18. So I enrolled to college just to make my mom, not stress. It was like an online school because it was like 2020 or 2021. That's when like, that COVID thing happened. So it was all online school, and I pretty much just enrolled. And at that time, I also found like this mentorship. So I was like, okay, mentorship might help me out, help me scale. So I'll join this mentorship, see how college is too, and just like kind of do things like, at the same time. When I joined the mentorship, I'm like, okay, this is pretty sick. This is like something I actually needed. So the whole time, my mom thought I was in online school, on calls with like professors. I was taking sales calls in my room. She's like, "How's class?" I'm like, "Oh, it's good." She's like, "What'd you learn?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, just a lot of stuff." So I was just taking sales calls. I was just like getting good at sales and everything, hopping on sales calls for my ecom agency at the time. And my mom had no idea. She had no idea I was running the agency. And when I joined that mentorship, so actually, like, keep in mind, it took me 4 years to fully pursue the agency, and I booked one call. It was
Wow.
up and down, of course, but pretty much just like, yeah, booked one call with cold email. That didn't really work, to be honest. I don't know why I was doing cold email. But yeah, so it took me 4 years to book one sales call. And then when I joined the mentorship, I scaled to 10K per month in 3 months. So like during that whole entire thing, she had no idea whatsoever. And I broke the news to her, like over dinner. Yeah, like during December, I forgot what year, but December, like November area. And I was still super scared, even though I was making like 10K per month, had like a ton of clients, had an amazing community where everyone's like, like, "Congrats, bro." My parents are very traditional, especially my mom. So I was still scared to tell her, especially like me making 10K per month. My voice was like shaking, telling her during dinner and everything. But she's like, "Okay, if this is something that you really want to do, like the business, then pursue it. But like, don't make it like, let's say like a side hustle. Like don't be half booting it.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, she was like very proud of me because she actually saw results. And ever since, I just been going all in on helping agency owners, coaches too, stuff like that. But that's like when it all started, to make it long.
Yeah, no, that's great, bro. Didn't you like take them out to dinner and like buy your mom like a Louis Vuitton purse or something?
Yeah, it was a Gucci one.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the first thing I ever bought that like I splurged on because I just
Mm.
had to make it. I just had to show her proof. You know, she's been like
Yeah.
she's been by my side the whole entire time. Even like I've been stressing her out so much about college. She thought like I was not gonna go to college, not gonna like be like they're like boomers, you know. It's like
Mm.
entrepreneurship is like you're wasting your life, you know. So I was putting her through a lot of stress,
Yeah.
especially like being her only young son. But yeah, now she's like super proud. You know, recently, like honestly, I don't really talk about much when it comes to like what I spend my money on and like how I, you know, spend it, other than like the travel stuff I post. But recently, it was her birthday, and this is when I hit like a really good month. Um, you know, I told her, I'm like, hey, what country do you want to go to? Like, just tell me the country. You know, I'll book you, you know, an Airbnb. Just let me know. And then she said Canada. Cool. So I booked it for her. We all went with like my family. I spent like a lot of money on it. I rented her favorite car when we were out there. Picked her up at the airport. Surprised her with it. It was like a matte black Range Rover. Um, just riding around Canada. It was like Banff, Canada. Paid for everything. The Airbnbs, reservations. Um, yeah, she was super happy. Like that's the most, you know, happy like that. I felt like this like the most happy at that point, if I'm honest, because like I just spent all the money on her, you know.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And that's part of the reason I wanted to have you on here too, is just like your heart. Like so many people, even I've struggled with this. Like it's very easy to like make money and then think about like what can I get myself, like a new watch, a new car, a new house, right? New recording setup. But yeah, it's just awesome to see like you functioning in generosity and stuff like that. So, dude, that's kind of leading up. You hit like the 10K a month, and then when did we start working together? I
Yeah,
kind of forget. Like, where were you at when we started working together?
yeah. I was like with the coaching business. I was at maybe like I hit a 10K month, like an 11K month, and it was kind of like fluctuating,
Mm.
going like up and down. And I didn't do ads back then. I don't think I was doing ads back then. Maybe like I tried it, but like I didn't really have it fully dialed in. Because like you hear
Mm.
about the stuff, you watch YouTube videos on it, but like you can't fully dial it in unless you know get a mentor.
Yeah.
So when I got a mentor, which was you know, like you just told me to, you know, do certain stuff when it comes to like the ad funnel, how to showcase my
Mm.
offer properly, how to present myself and just like be convicted in what I do.
Yeah.
And dude, I hit like 20K. I think like right when you told me that, and I was like, okay, let me just do this. Like, I'm gonna stop stressing.
Yeah.
I'll just do what Brandon tells me. And I just hit 20K, and then after that, hit 20K like pretty consistently for like 4 months. And then I was like, okay, I'm in scale mode, 30K, and then 40K, and then like consistently 40K, and then just like so on and so on. I'm like, whoa, this is sick. And now I'm doing
100%.
YouTube too, where it's like organic leads are coming in, plus the ad
Mm.
funnel.
Mm.
And then I'm doing like this new offer thing, like quote unquote new offer. It's like just helping certain people now.
Mm.
But yeah, bro, like it all started with you when it came to like the consistency of the ad funnel. Because at the
Yeah.
time, bro, I was like stressing. Like, how can I scale this up? You know?
Dude, 100%. So, help me remember, where were you at whenever you came to the live event? Because I want to talk about that. So, for those of you that don't know, I was in my office, I was praying, and dude, out of nowhere, I felt like the Lord was like, do a live event. And I think it had to have been no more than 7 days notice. Like it was last minute, bro. Like so last minute. And I remember like you were like, dude, I'm coming. You like booked a flight, showed up, and dude, talk about what happened at that event. Like, I know that that moment, not taking
Mhm.
credit for it by any means, like that was all the Lord. But I would love to hear what you experienced.
Yeah, so it's funny you say you prayed because I prayed before that too. I asked God, like, make it obvious to me on how I should maneuver around my business. Because at the time, my business wasn't doing the best. Like, it was at my top stress levels. I was at my top stress levels, if I'm being like
Mm.
completely honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fluctuating. I felt like I was doing everything right, but I didn't know like how to scale it up because I just felt like I was doing everything right. I saw people
Mm.
scaling past me that were doing the exact same thing. But yeah, so when it came to the event, I booked my flight. It was Spirit Airlines, which is like a terrible airline. I was like almost late to my next flight.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so I land in Dallas and there's like a lot of people there. There's like 20, 30 people, all entrepreneurs in the event. And there's some people I know, some people I don't know. but everyone's like really nice. Agency owners and coaches doing like 20 to 100K per month, like just a various amount of people. But why I liked it so much was because like it was about business, but it was also about God. That's like the main reason I went, because again, I felt like I was doing everything right, but I just had to have faith in God. Like that's all I had left, which is one of the reasons why I went. God told me to go. And then when I was there,
so before you went, like, were you a Christian? Like, did you believe in God, or were you just kind of like searching out, like, what is this, like, God, like, or were you already saved? What did that look like?
yeah, I don't think I was saved. No, I just kind of like knew the idea of God,
Yeah.
but I didn't really like, I wasn't a Christian, but I just knew of like a higher power and how important it was. But I was like very unknowledgeable, I'd say. But yeah, like once I prayed, bro, like it was so obvious that God wanted me to go to this. But yeah, fast forward, there's like again, like 20, people there, 20, 25, let's say, doing 30K, 100K per month. And everyone was praying. I remember that. Like everyone was praying. Everyone was, singing the songs. And I was looking around like, what's going on? Like this is something I've never experienced. I saw people like doing this, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm not like bashing them, but it was so foreign to me. Because in the church that I grew up in, everyone's just seated. Everyone's just seated. They're not really like singing or anything. It's very quiet. So it was kind of cool to see that, but it was very foreign. And then I remember Pastor Lindsay, he, called everyone up. He lined everyone up in like a line, and he put his hands on each person's shoulder. And I was just kind of like skeptical. I'm like, okay, this is cool. He's like just showing his love for people. That's awesome. But bro, like I was in the middle of the line, and by the time that he put his hand on my shoulder, bro, I just break down. I start crying. I'm like weeping and everything. Like I just felt the love of Jesus. It felt like a warm blanket, if I'm being completely honest. And then he kind of just reassures me. He's like, Jesus loves you. He sees you. He knows you. He knows what you're going through. He's gonna do X, Y, and Z for you when it comes to like my current situation, because I had no idea what was going on. And then the cool part and the crazy part, I know you remember this, but I just start screaming because he's casting out demons from me. I'm like, this is crazy. From being the person that was like skeptical on like what is going on with people like raise their hands, from literally like screaming at the top of my lungs, getting demons casted out of me. Like just, he was saying some crazy stuff like, spirit of, I forgot what spirit, but he's like, spirit, I rebuke you. He was speaking in tongues. Like, this is dope, like, and I remember like I was skeptical, but there was nothing that I could have faked, because this is like a real experience. Like I've never felt this before, so how can I fake it? And then I remember my friend Tyler, he was like looking in the background, he's like eating a scone. He's like, yeah, bro, I just saw you screaming, and I was just eating the scone. But yeah, bro, like that was the craziest experience. And ever since, like, okay, this is real. So I'm going to devote my life to Jesus, because like this is something that I experienced firsthand. And I realized like I was the only one screaming at the top of my lungs, because I'm the one that like really needed it, I feel like. It was crazy because I don't know if you guys know, the audience watching, like Gianna. Gianna, I think so. She was like, yeah, bro, I didn't even hear you screaming, because like she was going through her own experience, which is crazy. There's some people like on their knees too, but it's crazy how God works and how supernatural it is. Because even 2 days ago, I was praying and I was like, Holy Spirit, my identity is in you. I just kept saying that repeatedly, like I welcome you in. And bro, like I felt like shivers, I just kept saying that. Like usually my prayers are not that long, but bro, I was like on my knees for like a while, just like feeling the presence of the Holy Spirit. I feel like God was right next to me, honestly, but it's very supernatural, and I've experienced that firsthand. And some people just need to experience that too. But it takes a while, and it takes some time to actually have your faith in it, I'd say.
Dude, and like just telling you from my perspective too, like how I was feeling in that moment. Like I grew up similar to you. Like my church, like growing up, like never like lifted their hands, anything like that. Like Holy Spirit, like never really broke out. And then I had an encounter similar to you, like definitely changed my life. Like I haven't been perfect by any means, but like you just know God's real, and like He's a supernatural God, right? And what you were talking about was desperation. Like the reason you got touched like that is because you were hungry for God. It's like the woman with the issue of blood. She like drove through the crowd, pushed everybody aside, and like touched Jesus's robe, and she got healed. But it's like Jesus was touching a bunch of different people, and the difference between her and them was she had desperation. And it's like, dude, God meets you where you're at. And it's like you were desperate, and like he met you. So, dude, talk to me about this. What has like your life been like after? Because I know. So don't get me wrong. Like, I've seen people get saved and stuff, and like a lot of times they just go back to being the same. But dude, you're like night and day different. Like you straight up like moved. Like just the way you're like living life is different. Like you moved in with some homies. Like you went to this new church, got baptized. Like talk to me about that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've just been seeking the Lord because like I just have so many questions because I'm a pretty curious person. And when I go all in on something, like it's like all in, so when that happened, I had so many questions about just like life in general, like, like, cause I put my full faith in God. And after that, I remember even tithing too, like in the event and also after the event. But God says in the Bible, like you can test him one time and it's through tithing. And I remember tithing, like a lot of my money, not during the event, but like a few months after when it came to like the business, I tied like 10% of my income. And bro, like right after that, I hit like my record month. Like it was so supernatural. Like it was like, there's nothing, like I was running the same ads. I was spending the same amount on ad spend, making the same amount of content, if not less content, if I'm being honest. But clients just kept coming to me, and I was like, like the closes were so easy, So yeah, that's what happened when it came to like a monetary aspect. But just overall, when it came to like my mind and just like how I felt, like I wasn't stressing that much because I knew that God was here with me and he was walking with me. Like it wasn't me figuring everything out. It was God's plan, because something I've heard is like obedience is your job, outcome is God's job. So as long as I'm being obedient and as long as I'm walking with the Lord and, putting my faith in him, I'm running my own race, I'm not running everybody else's race, looking back and forth like, okay, who in the space is scaling up more than me? What are some new strategies that they're doing? It's like, no, Jeremy, this is your race. Focus on what you want to do. And the Lord put that in my heart because, just being unique in my own aspect. That's what the Lord just kept telling me. And ever since, bro, like I've just been feeling fulfilled with my business and not just thinking about money, if that makes 100%. Sense.
Dude, it totally does. So yeah, bro. I just really wanted people to hear like your story, bro. 10K per month, kind of fluctuating to now where you're at, like hitting 40K months. Business is consistent, but it's not your main focus. Like your main focus is the Lord and like living internally happy and being at peace. And like you said, you just like almost having like these blinders on where you're like, all right, I'm just doing what I know I'm supposed to do. I'm not comparing myself to other people. I'm just in my lane. Like hearing you bless your mom and everything like that. Like that's so inspiring to a lot of people, bro. And a lot of people have that heart and want to do that. So that's incredible. Dude, I had 2 questions for you, and then I'll roll into, like, I want you to tell people more about like where they can find you and stuff. But dude, for anyone who's thinking about coming to the Miami event, what would you say to them? Because I'm believing for 2 things, like crazy business transformation, but also like if they've been hungry for like what you're talking about, what would you say?
Yeah, bro. There's a bit of lag, but so when it came to my event, bro, like it changed everything for me. Like not just my business, but like just my life in general. So if anybody wants to go to the Miami event, like, bro, do it. Like you have to do it, especially if you want to experience the Lord. And like, what's more important, the Lord or your business? At the end of the day, like, the Lord is your mentor, So like go, like do it for the Lord. And if you want to change your life, like how Brandon's event changed my life, I would definitely go. And I'm going to be there. So if you want to talk about like my story, and if you want to talk about just like anything, obviously I'm not like the wisest person in the world, but I'm happy to just share some stuff that I've used to help with my walk with the Lord and just business and having that together, like inviting him into your business. But even if like you're slightly on the fence, even if you have $500 to your name right now, definitely go, because the Lord can bless you. And if you go for the Lord, yeah, everything will get cleared up from then, because you can get so many answers to questions, bro. Like so many.
100%, dude. And bro, for anyone watching who's been watching my channel for a while, maybe they've just like been seeing the free content, stuff like that. What would you say to anyone that's thinking about joining the program?
Yeah, bro. So Brandon's program was probably one of like, I spent like $30,000 to $40,000 in programs and just, online education. And by far, Brandon's was the one that really helped me scale, like really helped me scale. Like the ad level, and also just like offer creation, even on like a level of being a beginner, like I would go for Brandon, because like he actually wants to help you out, and his advice is like actually simple, and it's not something where it's like confuses you. Like it's just like, hey bro, like do XYZ and it'll be fixed. And if you do that, it gets fixed pretty quickly, if I'm being completely honest.
Ideally.
I got returned pretty fast too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, obviously, like, you want things to work the first try, but like with coaching, bro, I've been telling people, like, it's always a risk. There's no guarantees. Like, the only guarantee is you're gonna have to do the work, right?
Yeah.
And if you come in with that heart, that mindset of like, dude, I'm gonna make this work. Like, I know this is what I'm called to do. Those are the people who win. So I love hearing you say that, bro. Dude, where can people find more about you? Obviously, I'm going to tag your Instagram, YouTube down below. But yeah, maybe talk about your content and where you post.
Yeah, so I post mainly on YouTube and also Instagram. So they're both Jeremy Deg, Jeremy, and then DEG. Yeah, if you guys want to go to my YouTube channel, I post like a lot of content when it comes to even just like vlogs too. It's not if you're looking for like an Iman Gaji kind of style of content, don't subscribe, because I post like pretty valuable stuff, but also just like stuff that I like to post, which is like my travel stuff. YouTube is like the main place where I can just like be myself, to be honest. Sometimes I post like funny stuff on my Instagram too. I don't know if you saw that recent reel I made, but it was kind of funny. But yeah, that was on my Instagram. Yeah, bro, both Jeremy Deg, and yeah, pretty much that.
Sweet. Well, guys, you heard the man. If you're an online coach that's been thinking about getting a mentor and you resonate with my content, what I want you to do is click the link down below, grab a time to chat with us. And on that call, we're really being a lot pickier with who we let in. So, there's no guarantees that, it's going to be a good fit. But on that call, we'll get a sense of where you're at, where you want to get to, and just genuinely see if we can help. And if you're like, yo, Jeremy's story resonates with me so much, what I want you to do is go ahead, give him a follow on Instagram, hit up his YouTube channel, and just be blessed. So again, if you want to book in a call, click the link down below. And again, Jeremy, thanks for hopping on with me.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure.